Hi, welcome back to another vlog. I just finished working out, which is why I'm dressed like this, and it's not an excuse for looking like this. This is just how I normally look here because we're just always sweaty. But I thought I'd get on here and start another vlog for you guys to see. It's a Monday. It's the Monday after Thanksgiving, and I was about to make some sourdough. I found that the best or the easiest thing to do with the sourdough I make here is to just make it into focaccia. I don't have a lot of counter space that's good that I feel comfortable putting bread on and doing stuff with. And since it's so hot and humid here, the dough, the structure of it is just so tricky. And I could only put it in loaf pans anyways. I don't have a Dutch oven or any way to do a Dutch oven. And so I just make it into focaccia and put bagel, that everything bagel seasoning on top of it, and that's been working really well. We like to use it for sandwiches. So I need to get that started today. And then we're gonna do group work because my husband usually goes to the grocery store on Mondays and takes one of the kids with him to help. And so we try to get group work done so that they can go with him. And then, I was gonna do a recap of what we did for Thanksgiving, what Thanksgiving looked like here, and we'll see what else comes about because I'm not really sure yet. But I'm gonna go take care of that sourdough, and then we're gonna get group work started, and somewhere in there I'll probably put on normal clothes. So let's go do that. Okay, so here is the starter and the leaven. I have to use both because I don't have a jar big enough. They will overflow if I make the amount that I need for this recipe. It's just from Turner Farm. I have a picture from my friend. I have the book at home, but I have a picture here. I don't have a scale, so this has cup measurements, so that's what I've been using. And the bowl, so I'm gonna get that all mixed up so it can start to do its sourdough thing. Okay, I have the dough going in here, I have the sourdough fed again, and now I'm gonna gather my kids for some group work. Okay, we have some scripture stuff we're doing today, and then we have our Constitution class, lesson, whatever we're doing course. And today we are listening to this book. You can read it if you wanna do that, but it actually saves my voice. So I brought out our speaker and then I just play it and my kids can doodle in the book or whatever while they listen to it. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Finally, they went 350 yards northwest to Constitution Kern. While we read the next chapter of the story, you may color the border around the map, the water, and the 3 points where the family has been, if desired, but the rest of the island should be left uncolored for now.
Benjamin and James were playing a game of catch with Daisy, who dodged and weaved and kept the stick away.
What are you two doing? Are you having fun with all the clips?
Let's gather everyone and see what Grandpa has in store.
I don't know how well you can see these clips right here, but Locke took them all. This is for our laundry, and he made them into birds. That's what he said, that they're little birds. So that was funny. The things that kids do to entertain themselves when they don't have their normal toys. Okay, so for our Christmas advent calendar, today we're supposed to do paper chains, but I don't have a stapler and I don't know how well our tape will hold a chain together, especially this is thicker media paper, media art paper, what is that called? I don't know. Anyways, so I just got 3 pieces right here, and I'm gonna cut them, I think, into 8 squares. And my kids are going to decorate them later while they listen to Percy Jackson. And so we'll just put numbers on them, and then we can hang them up either on the wall or the window with some tape and just pull them off every single day instead of a chain. And I'll just keep the Advent activities and scriptures in my little notebook here, and I can just mark them off as we go through them. I just figured that would be the easiest thing to do, and I don't know for sure when we can do all the activities. And so since this is kind of gonna be counting down for us, I wasn't gonna make a whole nother calendar to put up activities and scriptures on. So I'll just keep those in my notebook, and then I'm gonna have my kids decorate these later so they can be kind of cute up on the wall. And so yeah, that's kind of what I plan to do. That's what we're gonna do, just trying to use what we have. I did bring a few Christmas stickers and little pom-poms, and so they might use those to decorate as well. I'm not really sure yet, or if they'll just draw on them with their colored pencils. So I'm gonna get these cut so they're ready for them to color later. Okay, I have all the cards made. I just did up to 24. I wrote numbers on them so we would make sure we had one for all the numbers, so they can either decorate around the number I wrote, or they can flip it onto the back, write the number how they wanna write it, cute or whatever, and decorate it that way. So I just got through with those, and then we'll just hang them up on the wall and take them off every single day as a countdown to Christmas. Okay, so it's just after lunch. We finished our schoolwork. It doesn't take very long here because I'm not doing as much for like group work. At home, we have a longer introduction. We do some more journaling type stuff. You know, I write stuff on the whiteboard for them to answer and things. We usually have a read aloud. Here they've just been listening to Percy Jackson on Audible. So all those things, it doesn't take very much time. So our group work is usually very, very short. Besides the curriculum, you know, sometimes the curriculum takes longer, but for the most part, it's pretty short. So we did that. And right now they're actually listening to Percy Jackson, and they're decorating the little Christmas cards that I made for us to do for our advent calendar. And a kid just walked in the door and left it open, so now I can hear it louder. I hope you can't hear it. I might have to go shut the door. But that's what they're doing right now. We'll see if they get them all decorated. It might take a couple days for them to get it all decorated and for us to get it hung up on the wall. So I thought I'd come in here and talk to you about what we did for Thanksgiving. So let me go shut the door and then I'll be right back. All right, so we kept Thanksgiving pretty simple, which some years at home it is very simple. We don't always get together with family, and we don't have a ton of family that even lives where we live. And so sometimes we do something, and sometimes it's just a few foods and we just do it at our home by ourselves. And sometimes I actually like prefer that. Like it's a calmer day, it's not so chaotic. And so this year for Thanksgiving, I was like, what are we gonna do? Like, what can we even get? That's a really hard thing, is just knowing what's available and available from week to week. So my husband, I mentioned, he went to the store today, and he was like, everything required him to substitute something for like the more expensive item, because the brand that he would normally get or the kind he would normally get, everything was gone, almost everything, even like diapers. We needed more diapers this week. And so instead of having the store brand, he had to get Pampers diapers, which are crazy expensive here, and stuff like that. And so just things like that, that it was just everything was needed substituted for something else. And so you just never know what you can get. But we knew we could get some ham from the store. At least most of the time you can get ham. And I personally am not a meat lover. I don't usually have turkey. My family prefers ham for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so it worked well for them. So my husband picked up some of that from the store last week. And then I was trying to figure out desserts. It's hard to like get cocoa powder here, and to get some citrus you can find, but also not. They have they're almost like limes, but I'm not quite sure. They have more of a lime flavor than a lemon, but they're so teeny and very, very tart. So just trying to do something citrus. I love citrus. My family loves chocolate. And since those weren't options, I was like, okay, what else can we do? And what's gonna be at the store? So I had brought pecans from home, like a huge bag from Sam's Club. And so as I was looking through desserts and saw people posting dessert ideas, I was like, okay, we can do the pecan bars, and we'll do like an apple caramel pie bar thing. And then I saw someone else, actually Pioneer Woman, I think is the one I saw make that a while ago. So on Tuesday, I started kind of prepping for stuff. We found ingredients for a basic meal, and Tuesday I made rolls. So I've been doing Amber's Kitchen white bread, and I've really liked it. Like, it's a yeast bread, but it's so simple, and it makes 3 big loaves, and it's really good for our family here when we run out of bread from the store, because then I can make food last until the next week. And so I've been making that, but I just took about 2/3 of it, I guess, because I just made 1 loaf. and made it into rolls instead of making it into 2 loaves. And so that's what we did, but I did it early since my oven space is very small. I can't make a lot of things at one time and stuff, and it's just so hot. So it was like, okay, we'll start Tuesday. So then Wednesday, my daughter helped me make pecan bars. She wanted to help in the kitchen somehow, and so she helped make the crust, and then she chopped up some of the pecans and made some of the filling. So the filling itself calls for Caro syrup. We used agave because maybe somewhere you could find Caro syrup here. I'm not really sure if they have it. They have honey and they have agave. I don't love the taste of honey. And so the agave worked really, really great. So even if you're just looking for a lower glycemic index item, you could use agave instead of Caro syrup. And I think that was all the substitutions. I'm trying to remember if there was something else, and I can't really get vanilla here, so I just don't put it in things. So when I run out of vanilla at home, I'm like, okay, whatever, it'll be fine. So that's what we did for those, and they turned out really good. I feel like there was something else I had to substitute, but I honestly can't remember what it is right now. And I don't even think I made a note about it. I'm like, did I make a note? Because I have all my notes here, but I think that was it. And then they cooked really fast, and once they cooled down, I cut them and took them out of the pan because I only have one. It's bigger than a 9x13, but basically a 9x13 pan. And so then on Thanksgiving, I made the apple pie bars. So it was just like a base with apples in the middle. I made a caramel sauce, just like a homemade easy one that's not like browning the sugar or anything. It's just putting brown sugar with some heavy cream and butter basically, and cooking that together, and a crumble on top. And that was actually my Alana, the girl that helped the day before, my 12-year-old, that was her favorite, which is funny because she doesn't love like fruity type stuff. She'll eat apples, but she doesn't just generally like that kind of a dessert. So, but she really liked that one. But we made that Thanksgiving morning. Then I peeled lots of potatoes because that was easy to do for like a meal. My family all really wanted sweet potato casserole. That's something they love at home. It's not my personal favorite. It's just so sweet because they like it with the crumble on top and marshmallows on top. And I think sweet potatoes generally are so sweet just by themselves. And then you add more sugar and more sugar and more sugar, and then they're so sweet. And so I was like, nah, I just usually don't eat them or eat very much of them. And we couldn't find any sweet potatoes. Some things say that they have some here. Some things say that they're not, You can get yams, but this is like true yams. In the United States, yams and sweet potatoes are basically the same thing. Here, a yam is more like a potato. It's more like starchy and not sweet and stuff, so it's not like a good substitute for a sweet potato. But we didn't get to do that, so some of my kids were a little bummed about that. But so I made gravy, potatoes, we had ham, and then I just had a few vegetables that I cut up, and I think that was it. I basically think that was it. And I have to look at my notes to try to remember. I'm like, I don't know. And for the desserts, I forgot to mention, so they required a lot of brown sugar. So luckily, we got brown sugar from Togo. The mission office here goes to Togo quite a bit, so they brought some back for us because you can't get brown sugar in Benin. You have to get it in Togo, you have to get molasses in Togo, all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of what we did. And then after we had the meal, we ate it at lunchtime because it's cooler. Like all of our eating area is exposed to the sun and to the elements and stuff. And so it's a lot cooler before the sun comes down. And then at dinner time, the sun is like blazing in to everything where we sit outside. So it's shaded almost all day except at dinner time. And then the sun goes down pretty quickly because it sets usually about 6:30, 6:45. So we did it at lunchtime so we wouldn't have full sun coming in on us, and so we could rest and have desserts later and not feel like we're gonna throw up. So we went and we watched a movie. We have a TV. My husband has to set up his computer to it because he has a VPN that allows us to watch Disney Plus. And so he sets his computer up to the TV and he turned on Freakier Friday, and we had decided to turn the air conditioner on in that room. And so we sat there and watched an air-conditioned movie for a couple hours, and it was so nice. And the movie was hilarious. We liked the first one too, but me and my husband were dying watching the second one, and our kids thought certain parts were funny too. They've seen the first one also, but so that's what we did, had that little treat before we had an actual treat. And whipped cream is kind of hard to get here or to get high enough fat content. So they don't have heavy whipping cream, at least I don't think so. And someone had mentioned to me that someone that bakes well here can't even get cream to whip. And I was like, really? Oh, it must just be really hard to get cream to whip. And so I was asking ChatGPT what the fat content, like if I could get it to whip and stuff, and it's like, this is 35, well, I think it said above 30% is what you need, but it might be a little bit lighter of a whip. So the one we had just for whipping cream was 35%. And I was like, we're gonna try it. And at home, I sometimes stabilize it with like pudding. Powdered sugar stabilizes it as well because it has cornstarch in it, but we don't have powdered sugar. And so we had some creme fraiche, which is sour cream basically. And so I put that in with the cream and then a little brown sugar and let that kind of dissolve in there. And then I just whipped it because I don't have something to whip it for me. And it got, like, it wasn't crazy, like stiff peaks, but it was a good whipped cream. As it started to go, I was like, it's working. It was like Anakin from Star Wars. It's working, it's working. I was so excited that it finally was starting to whip. And everyone was so happy to be able to put that on their desserts. And so that's what we did on Thanksgiving itself. And then Friday morning, we went to the beach just down from our house. It's like 5-minute walk across the sand to the water, and we just played in the water for like an hour. The nice thing with it being so close is we don't have to go for long amounts of time. It's especially hard for my littlest kids. It just gets really, really hot. But my husband stood in the sand. I'll insert the pictures here, but they were on Instagram as well. And he just was sinking in the sand, as the waves hit, he gets deeper and deeper. And so I stood by him and I was like, oh my gosh, you're so short. We're about the same height. I'm just taller than him normally. And so it was so funny because I was like, you're like a midget. I was like, we need a picture. So I had my daughter take pictures, and I'm like a giant. It's so funny. I was laughing so hard. And his cousin commented on it in a message to me, and she's like, you got him 50% off for Black Friday. And that made me laugh so hard. It was just so funny. So that's kind of what we did for Thanksgiving weekend. It was a lot of fun. It was simple. It was nice to have a little break from like schoolwork and normal things and just to enjoy the holiday. All right, it's almost 3 o'clock. I just finished getting some dough ready for dinner. We're gonna do pizza, so I just made that so it can start to rise a little bit. I have a mountain of schoolwork here to grade. So I'm gonna do that. This is usually the time of day I do that. My kids usually watch a show or two, and I'll grade schoolwork. I got a blog post written, and so that will go up later this week. So I did that, and yeah, got the dough ready. And some days I make muffins, and sometimes I just do a smoothie. Like when my kids are all done watching and before dinner, that's kind of their afternoon snack. It just depends on the day, the ingredients, and if I feel like roasting to death in the kitchen several times. If I have to go in there and make muffins, it can get very, very warm. And so today I think we're just gonna do a smoothie. I had considered doing muffins since we just got groceries, but I might just do that tomorrow. So probably just do a smoothie today, but I'm gonna get these graded and also do some reading. I've been reading tons of just fun stuff on my Kindle, but also trying to read some educational things, or at least things that push me a little bit. So I brought a few books, and once I get through those, I can get some on my Kindle, but this is the one I'm currently reading. So I'm almost halfway through it. I usually put myself at like 15 minutes a day, and I haven't read more than that. I don't know, it's hasn't like caught my attention enough to read lots more than that per day, but some books do, and so then I end up reading more. So that's kind of my plan right now, and then it will be time to roll out pizza dough and get that in the oven. Okay, it is another day. It's the next day, actually. I am still filming this morning just because I wanted to show you the focaccia that I was making out of the dough from yesterday. And I wanted to show you our little countdown to Christmas cards the kids made. We are gonna hang them up, I believe, on a window. I'll have to show you in a minute because we get a good amount of wind that comes through this area, but I didn't want to put them in a bedroom where everyone couldn't see them either. But I think the windows where the tape will stick the best because the walls are very rough. So I don't think it will hold very well. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I just finished working out, so my face is still really wet, red, still really sweaty. But I'm gonna show you this dough. I took it out this morning, it was so poofy. Even yesterday, I'm like, oh man, this is rising a lot, but I'm gonna push it into the pan a little bit more. So let me flip you around and I'll show you. Okay, so this is what we have. It's covered in saran wrap or plastic wrap. I took it out this morning, put olive oil in the bottom of the pan, pushed it down a little bit, and it's been rising for about an hour-ish, just over probably. I put oil on the top. So I'm gonna take it out, put a little more oil, push it down some more, and then sprinkle the bagel seasoning on top, and then I'll cook it. Okay, I'm gonna light the oven. This just has settings 1 through 4 right here. So I'm just setting it on 4. That's usually what I do. And then I just have to stick, we have a lighter now. We used to only have matches. And so I just stick it down there, light it, and then I just let it warm up for like 5 to 10 minutes before I put this in. So it's all ready to go with the everything bagel seasoning on top of it. And then I just cook it until it's done. It's really hard with this oven. It's just very finicky, so you just kind of have to watch it. Okay, so we have all of the little pieces here the kids made, so they just divided them up and created them. And I think what we're gonna do is just put them on this window, goes into our room right here. So, hello, you can see me. I think we'll just kind of line them up on the side of it as best as we can. And Alana's gonna help me, so we're gonna do that real quick. Alana's trying to fix Santa's beard. So we'll see if it fixes it. So here is the finished product of all the days. We'll have to rip off 1 and 2 or flip them over. I'm not really sure what we want to do with it, but this is all of them, our countdown to Christmas. Okay, so here's the focaccia cooked. Normally at home, I'd be able to get it very like brown and golden. Here, not so much. I do turn on just the top grill setting to try to brown the top a little bit, but it doesn't work super well. So anyways, this is what it looks like. So I have kind of released it from the pan with a spatula, and then once it cools a little more, I'll cut it. And then I just store it that way, and then when we use it for sandwiches, we'll cut it this way and have a nice little sandwich with some seasoning on top. All right, so that's gonna be the end of this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, just kind of seeing what we do here, some of the food adjustments, and then also our countdown for Christmas and some activities hopefully we'll be able to do with it. I think today we're planning to make snowflakes and then we'll have to figure out where we want to hang them up. And then we'll see about some other activities that we're able to do. Again, if you have other ideas for simple Christmas activities that don't really require a whole lot of supplies, put them down in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Remember to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.